So, welcome to the lunchtime lectures here at Mind Valley. Today's Tantra with Shah is about Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich. And there is one chapter in there all about sex transmutation. And I have a beautiful man here. Please introduce yourself.
Hello, everybody. My name is Chris Konsap, and I'm from Estonia. And I've been a member of MINDVALLEY for 10 years now. And 7 years ago, I decided to start my own company. So I'm an entrepreneur, and I haven't had a boss ever since. And a couple years ago, I also took on the path of being a coach and helping other entrepreneurs create the life that they desire.
I love that. So, me and Chris, we met at Mind Valley, but also Eric Edme Speakers Academy. And I've seen you grow and grow. And we had a bit of a conversation on Facebook. And I do a thing that focuses on this chapter called Sex Transmutation. It's where you harness your sexual energy for purpose. You utilize your sexual energy so you can create your empire. And there's a part in the book where it says most men achieve their most people achieve their wealth and fortune and fame and glory in their 40s, because by that time they settled down with somebody. They're not in their 20s trying to have sex or chasing tails, so to speak, but they've actually grounded themselves, established themselves, and that sexual energy is now harnessed to impact on the planet and also creating a business and an empire. A lot of people in the wealth game say that I call this phase of my life the financial awakening. Every 7 years, our life changes. From 0 to 7, and from 7 to 14, we're a different person that we were. From 14 to 21, we're a completely different person we were the previous 7 years. And each cycle, we become something. In my 35 to 42, I was in my spiritual awakening journey. And that's when I was in my Jesus Christ phase and everything, which was amazing because I had the most outrageous spiritual awakening anyone could ever imagine. And that's why I film everything that happened. Ever since hitting 42, 2 years ago, I had my financial awakening. And that's when I discovered Mind Valley. And this is when I started creating my business. And this is where I went from 0 to £144,000 in just 1 year, utilizing the method that I shared with Chris. I would love for you to share your story, because you sent me a voice note, which is one of the best voice notes I've ever received in my life. When I hear people's success, I'm the biggest champion. I love it when people succeed. So I would love to hear how the Shaft method, which is closely linked to Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich around sex transmutation, helps you thrive in your business. Over to you.
The first time that I heard about the concept of sexual transmutation was actually many years ago when I read the book Think and Grow Rich. I would assume it was roughly 10 years ago or something like this. But I never realized what it actually is because I didn't have an experience of that. So it kind of sounded cool, but I didn't know what should I do with that. So I didn't practice that. I didn't live that. And many years forward, at the end of last year, I felt that I was a bit low on energy, and things were stalling a bit in my business. And I didn't realize what it was. Whatever I did was kind of difficult. It was hard to push through, especially getting new ideas. I knew what I knew when I was doing those things, but they were not working as well as I wanted them to work. And at some point, I saw that you had the courses available, and you did a campaign on these courses. And for me, it was really intriguing because when I was reading what these courses are about, then it reminded me of what the problem could be, that I was low on sexual energy. And actually, one of those signs of this was I wasn't like getting really like turned on by my spouse, for example, and I didn't have erection as often as like usually when I'm turned on, I'm really excited about sexuality. And then I realized that this could be the solution to me. And I started doing the semen retention program, and I noticed the benefits already within a couple of weeks.
I know. I remember
Yeah,
getting that message. Like,
yeah,
you've only been doing it for a couple of weeks. That
yeah,
isn't the first week.
yeah. It was really quick actually, you know, and I felt physical changes, like the energy started going up. I started enjoying things a lot more, whatever that was, like food, like hugging, my business,
Oh,
all
it's
these
a
things.
pleasurable life, yes.
Yeah, you know, like my dopamine levels went up,
Yeah.
serotonin levels went up. I'm really big into biochemistry, what's going on in the body, and I know that these things happened in my body. Initially, it was a little bit like it was like a learning curve as well, like the first couple of weeks. But actually, like within just a month or two, it was so natural to do these practices, and it was surprising to me that it only took me 10 minutes per day. Yeah, like that was the point that I was sold on. I was willing to invest 10 minutes of my day to get all of these benefits, um, because I've heard that like 93% of our energy comes from sexual energy, and I'm a total believer in that. I have an experience with that, and ever since this January, I have done these practices very consistently. Very consistently.
How has your life changed? In fact, I want you to share with some of the business wins that you had. This is what excited me the most when he sent me this beautiful voice note.
Yeah. Um, One of those things that I did was I launched my group coaching program for the first time in January. From the idea to actual execution, it was 2 weeks. It was really quick, and I signed up my first 3 clients in this group coaching program.
Congratulations! It's always a big deal when you're becoming a coach, and yeah,
It
getting
is.
those
It is an
clients in.
important
It
milestone
really
for sure.
is. Yeah.
I had
10K month
10K month.
was it?
It was 9K.
Close. Not bad. Well
Not
done.
bad. Not bad.
I mean, that's fucking amazing.
It is.
Like, let's give it up because, like, I remember when I started off my career, like, I used to give yoni massages, and that's one human being I could only serve, and that's X amount of money. But when you and that's like, in order for me to make 10 grand, that was like 40 vaginas I needed to massage, something like that. It's a lot. And I used to do that because I was young. I was like very agile and very strong and determined to help as many people as possible. And I came to Mindvalley, and there's a guy called Peter Kell, and he does all the VSLs for Mindvalley and got Mindvalley to where it is now online. And he said, what you're doing is not scalable. And you got to do these online coaching programs and like online courses. So I started doing it, and I remember my first 10K month, and you never forget your first 10K month. So congratulations.
Thank you so much. You know, I had this idea of doing the program for a while, but I didn't put it into action because I was kind of low with energy. You know, I know my human design as well, and I'm a manifester. So for me, it's super important to have really high energy and have my batteries charged. So whatever I do with this high energy actually becomes into life. But if I do things with half of my batteries depleted, it doesn't really work out. It doesn't have the spark to make things moving.
Yeah.
So that's one key insight that I obtained from that.
There's another. I think I remember this. Another win that you had with some of your stocks and shares or something.
With crypto.
Yes.
Yeah.
This excited me the most because I have an abusive relationship. It's called my Coinbase account. When it's good, it's great, and when it's bad, it's really bad. So, yeah, would you like to share that if you're open to that?
Yeah, I invested and traded crypto for about 3 years, from 2017 to 2020. And I had some coins also in different accounts. But for a while, the market went down, and I didn't really look at those. You know, they were all like down, the remaining coins that I had. And after doing these practices for a while, I got this higher energy, and I think that I got this better intuition as well thanks to this. Because at some point, I felt that I should check my old coins that I bought. So I went to my accounts and I was looking at the coins, and one of the coins that actually was dead for a while, it had 5x, in price, and I got $7,000 from that.
Not bad. Just sitting around in your bank account.
Yeah, like I don't know what caused it, but at least the feeling to check that.
Yeah,
If I hadn't checked that, actually, that would have been a problem.
because it was gone back
It
down.
was up for several weeks,
Mm,
but after that it started going down again.
exactly.
Yeah, and now it's pretty much like where it was before. So if I hadn't had this feeling to check that, I would have missed the opportunity.
So I get shivers when I hear this. I'm excited because this is the power of this work, sexual transmutation. Now I work with men, but what I teach on that course is what I've been teaching with women. Because I've only been working with women for those 7 years of my amazing transformative from 35 onwards. And it's a feminine practice that I teach men. And it's the same for men and women to awaken your sexual energy. It's a 10-minute practice to a Lakshmi mantra. Lakshmi is a goddess of abundance. The mantra is Om Shri Mahalakshmi Namaha. It plays 108 times. It takes 1 month to just figure out this 10-minute practice. It's from conscious touch to awaken your sexual center, to making love tantrically, because by the time you hit the 3rd week, you will start activating your sexual energy, and you will need to know how to actually make love tantrically. It's a very specific way. And then by the 4th week, you would have mastered this meditation practice where you get out of visual stimuli into your body, into your heart, into your sex, and actually awaken your body. It's a highly systemized practice. The good thing about Tantra is it's the original biohacking. It is basically an instruction manual on how to utilize your body, and a lot of people randomly, by grace, activate their Kundalini energy, the sexual energy. They have these shakes, and they don't know why they have it, but there's certain practices that you could do to actually figure out how to have it all the time and on demand. There's all these mindful masturbation practices you could do to awaken your sexual energy. The benefit, because I used to work with women a lot, the benefits for this is, remember that speaker in Eric Edmy's Speakers Academy who actually won the training? She and I do a very similar job. She's a gynecologist. I give yoni massages. She deals with women who have weak bladders. And she was talking about, in chemists, in a pharmacy, there's these big section where it's adult diapers. So if you don't juice up your sexual energy as a woman, this starts to lose its potency, and you become just like more like closed physically, emotionally, and sexually. And the problem that happens is you do become more incontinent, and like you start to have a weaker bladder, and this isn't being pumped and juiced up how it should be. There are negative health things that happen when you aren't juiced up and fully alive. For a man, if you're not activating your sexual energy, or if you're just wasting it, you aren't harnessing it for more vitality. I recently just had my testosterone results brought back to me by the doctors, and I'm very much in my feminine. I drink the tap water, but I do my practices. I'm on a higher scale for the testosterone in my body, which is amazing, because for me it's just like scientific proof that this stuff works. And for me, the results when I hear this is incredible. And from a book from 1921 or something like that, I also read it 10 years ago. You literally think and go rich. You focus your energy. Dr. Joe Dispenza talks about this a lot, the quantum, where you have a clear intention, you see your goal, keep your eyes on the prize, have an elevated emotion so you live it in this real life, so you bring that future version of yourself into this reality. What we do as tantrikas is we activate our sexual energy, so not only is it an elevated emotion, it's pleasurable, and also with orgasm, you release it and do the ultimate form of, we call it sex magic, of letting go, which is we let it go, we lie back and we receive. And in this 8 minute practice, we're able to expand our nervous system to receive. So that's actually what we're training ourselves to do, to receive more from not just pleasure but from life. And random stuff does start happening. Like, I was trained by my mum and dad, money doesn't grow on trees. Even in Bengali, they say this. Money is hard. It is difficult to make money. And I've only seen my parents suffer over and over again around making money. When I started doing this practice, random chunks of money came into my life. And when I came to MINDVALLEY, there's all these new programs that the wealthy, the ultra wealthy were saying. Instead of saying niching down, they said have 7 streams of income. Instead of like working hard for your money, make your money work hard for you. And I was like, I asked John Lee. John Lee, like I built my whole business from passing comments at these wealthy parties, like when Vishen used to have his gatherings and everything. John Lee said, I said, I'm going to buy a house with this money. He said, don't buy a house, mate. What you want to do is invest your money, make money, and then from the money you've made, then buy a house. Were you at UPW, Tony Robbins?
Yes.
Yeah. So a year ago, we were all at Tony Robbins, and a lot of people went into platinum, which cost £80,000. I had £80,000, and UPW was very close to. It's in Birmingham. I was going to buy a place in Blackpool because during a very powerful tantric ritual, I had a vision that I was going to buy a house by the sea. And Regan Hillier, I was chatting to her, and she was talking about something about what is your vision beyond the vision? Like, once you become a millionaire, what do you do with it? And then it all coincided, and I had a vision of having a house by the sea, and I just happened to meet somebody who lived in Blackpool, and there's really cheap houses in Blackpool. You can get really nice 3-bedroom houses, which cost about $500,000 in London, but only 80 grand in Blackpool. So I went window shopping around there. And well, Blackpool isn't the greatest place in the world. There's a reason why it's 80 grand. But my parents, I live in a place called Bexhill-on-Sea. It used to be like Blackpool, hellhole. But now the prices are like London. And now they're finally making some rental income from the investments that they made. But they had to like wait 20 years. So this year, last year, I decided not to buy anything. And I invested everything into crypto. And lo and behold, I have enough money to make money, and buy a house now. But everything's going to go up in November all the way up to March next year. And I have this intuition now around money. And it's very connected to my practices. Like, I had a dream, a vision during my mindful masturbation practices that I will create the largest body of online courses around Tantra. A month later, I made 10 online courses. It's very easy for me to, from title, and thank God for ChatGPT because I couldn't read and write back then, to writing a structure, to filming, to editing and uploading. A whole online course can be shot, filmed and scheduled in 4 hours. Super easy for me. I could just keep on making them until the end of my day. And I was like, okay, I need some way to monetize this. And I got tantrashaft.com now, which is great. But I was thinking some kind of membership thing. And then randomly, my now business partner, Anton, rings me saying, hey, I got an app building company. You want to be a CEO of it? I was like, thank you. And now I have a company called Transformational where we actually build apps for impact leaders. for people who have online courses, who want to make money with their online courses, or they have a community that they want to build. So yeah, life is pretty amazing. Life is random, and life is not random as well because it's highly calculated. Because whatever you desire comes true. So, is there anything that you'd like to share around since doing your practices? What else has made your life more easier and more pleasurable?
Um, well, I would like to share about my love relationship because it was pretty good. We've been together for 10 years, and one thing is that actually in the past, a long time ago, I didn't believe that a love relationship can be super exciting even after a long time. But now I'm absolutely convinced that it actually gets better over time.
We love to hear
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Same
It does.
relationship, different you.
Yeah, but it just doesn't happen by itself. So it requires active participation. It requires learning and exploring, and bringing something new into that relationship. And one thing I wanted to share that's that a long time ago, my goal was to last 20 minutes in bed. It was just a number. Like I wanna get there. I was working towards that in some ways, but it wasn't consistent, and I didn't reach that goal. But now I can say that I can actually last for as long as I want in bed. Like I choose how long I last.
Oh, that's nice.
Thanks to the exercises that were given in this course. And a mind-blowing moment was when I learned that an ejaculation and orgasm are not the same thing. I separated them, and I can actually have multiple orgasms as a man, which I didn't know before, and I'm sure like 80% of the men don't know that either. They never experienced that. They don't even know it's possible. But now I know it's possible, and I'm doing that. And even after I'm having these orgasms, I'm actually still at a really high energy. So my energy doesn't drop after that.
So this is one of the beautiful things about sexual energy. I work in the three stages of love: the acquisition of love, single people trying to find love; the deepening of love, couples work; and the recovery of love, like recovering from breakups, which is really can be very traumatic for a lot of people. Now, the deepening of love, you've been with your partner for 10 years, same person but different you. She hasn't changed, but you have. And from your change, like, is she happier? Like, has she awakened her sexual energy more?
Absolutely. I have noticed that a lot. That she used to be quite conservative in terms of this game, but over this time she has opened up a lot more, and I'm really happy about it. We have built a better connection between each other because one of the things is the concept of taking it slow. You know, before that I would say like we would be in bed like for 15-20 minutes doing something like this. But now it's about an hour. So we're taking it slow. So we have time to connect with each other, not to rush, to explore and to really enjoy each other. And that builds a very strong connection. I'm I'm really happy about this.
This makes my heart tingle when I hear this because this is the main reason why I started to work with men. Because the women were complaining that you need to help men, and it takes a courageous man to actually to do the work. It's not easy what we have to do. It's like we have to take away our favorite toy, our human body ejaculator. Like that's the best thing that we could ever do in our body. And I remember the first time someone said, Tantra, oh, you don't want to do Tantra, that's why you don't ejaculate. And I was like, I'm never going to do Tantra. But the word Tantra kept on coming up, kept on coming up. And I eventually did my first ever Tantra course. And then from there, I learned how to separate the ejaculation from the orgasm. And yes, the reason why I do it is because I could be more present with my partner and I could spend longer time with my partner. And there's like a graph that I always talk about around depth. More time you have with your partner, the more depth you could go, the deeper you could go with your partner. And if sex is the most incredible thing we could feel in our bodies, 3.5 minutes, 20 minutes is never enough. And for women, it is not. And that is why, later on, 20 years later, they do divorce their husbands. And I work on the recovery of love, which is where a lot of women haven't felt the pleasure that they desire. They don't know that there's any other option, but they know there's something wrong. And then eventually in their marriage, they just stop wanting to have sex. It's usually whoever controls the sex in a relationship controls the power dynamics in a relationship. And very often I found, not in all cases, but just in my network, in my client network, it's the woman that all of a sudden goes, I'd just rather not have sex anymore. Mainly because she's getting the same dish over and over again. For her, she thought that would be a really good idea at the beginning, but 20 years later, she decided that it's not. And before she knows it, she's just like distancing herself, less and less intimacy. The man, he's adaptable. He's like, oh. And then 20 years later, he's like, oh. And it's a woman that often suggests, maybe you should do plant medicine, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. But what you did is something courageous and brave. And I really respect that you actually decided to address the issue. So this brings a lot of hope, a lot of faith in men. I worked with women a lot, and they basically said, men aren't ready, men don't want to do this. They don't want to put the work in. And I honestly believe that. And I actually almost sabotaged my business because I decided not to work with men until my angel Peter Kell came up to me and said, you need to help men. And now I look at my bank balance, and it's a clear indication that men really do want to learn. They do want to help serve and support their wives and the feminine. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story. It's incredible.
Thank you so much for creating the programs that I could follow and to use. Yeah, I never had any sort of like a very good structure that would give me those results. I listened to bits and pieces about tantric work from different places, but the problem is that it's scattered.
Yeah.
I didn't have like one comprehensive system where, like one source where I could get all of the strategies and all the tips and the frameworks.
There is a misconception around no-fap and semen retention, which is they almost look at it as abstinence. It's actually causing more shame around masturbation and pleasure, which isn't healthy. It's another form of like, this is bad. Whereas my courses and like what I teach, especially to women, men, and everyone in between, is the opposite. Masturbate more. In fact, you need to masturbate every single day until you die. For 10 minutes. And then you'll live longer. Like, I had to grow a beard because I look really, really young. I barely work out anymore, and I still dance and make love, and like I used to work out a lot, but now I've stopped, and my body's still very healthy and very virile. And like if I shave, I look like a 25-year-old. People don't take you seriously when you look this young. I'm 44, and I had to grow this and started wearing different clothes because now I'm a position of authority just because, like, this stuff works. Women, they were the reasons why I started to do this work because it reversed their aging. I kept on meeting really young, sexy, vibrant women in their 50s and 60s. They were not just grandmothers and mothers, but great-grandmothers. And I thought, okay, it's working for them, what you're doing. They told me the practices. I learned the practices. And literally in a few weeks, few months, I started to see the bags under my eyes go. In 1 year and 8 months of the practices, I ended up overcoming my addictions. And it's no longer an addict. I was an alcohol and drug addict. Depression, gone. My brain said, you're no longer an addict. You no longer want to kill yourself. My mantra from I hate myself, I hate my body and everybody hates me, changed from everybody loves you. And that's when I went viral across the internet. And now I have my mantra. I love my life, I love my body, I love myself, and I love making 10 grand a day. So one final thought or one final thing that you'd like to share with the people of Mindvalley. What is the one thing that you'd like for them to take away from this beautiful lunchtime lecture?
I also resonate with the fact that you got rid of the addictions because for me also I let go of alcohol and processed sugar completely because I was feeling good all the time, not just sometimes, and I didn't need any kind of substance to make me feel even better. Even though later I would know that it would backfire taking these substances. And one final thing which I believe has changed my life a lot is that these practices help me let go of my neediness to get sex. You know, I had this pattern which I worked on in my relationship. You know, what happened was that I developed an expectation to, let's say, have sex that evening, and when it didn't happen, I was disappointed. I would shut down. I would start blaming my partner for doing this to me. Having that kind of victim mindset, and sometimes I would be like angry or disappointed for several days. But this practice has removed that completely because I don't like need to have sex. I just want to have sex, and she wants to have sex, but I don't need it. And what has happened is that we have developed much healthier relationship like this. So she knows that I don't disappoint. I don't get disappointed when it doesn't happen. So it takes pressure off of her to supply to me. So she knows that she's not like obliged to give me sex, and that has been really a life-changing thing for me to not be needy about sex.
This is a really big issue in long-term relationships. That's fascinating. I mean, for me, again, I love hearing this. I think it's really important that we talk and share about this because it is very often the man does want to have more sex than the woman, and like I said, very often the woman starts to like go, I'm a little bit bored of the same sex, okay, and she feels obliged to do it, and this causes a bit of a rift, but also a bit of resentment, just because I've been working on the woman's side of hearing this. So yeah, this is it tickles my heart to know that this has really helped and supports you, but also my favorite thing is marriage and relationship and couples work, and knowing that this one simple 10-minute practice that you've been doing has not only affected your business, sexual transmutation has helped you to go deeper with the same partner you had, but you're a little bit different. And it's helped you go deep in your business and with your partner.
This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
Amazing. Well, thank you very much. Where can we find you?
Thank you. You can find me on LinkedIn, for example, also on Facebook. If you type in Chris Konsap, then you can find me on LinkedIn and Facebook. And I'll be happy to share any kind of things that I've experienced in the program or in business as well. So if you're an entrepreneur and you would like to take your life to the next level, then definitely send me a message and let's see what we can do together.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. We're going to do a little Q&A in a minute. But for everybody at home watching this, thank you all so much for tuning in. For me, this has been really nice to hear the side effects of my online course. Like, if you have an online course and you think, and you're scared of like getting it out there, I just did it. And thanks to Mindvalley and the people in the community like Vishen and especially Peter Kell, there's a guy called Jeffrey Perlman, there's all these amazing people, and Regan Hillier, they all encouraged me to create my course. So I went and did it, and it's helped somebody profoundly. So if you're thinking about starting an online course or a community, I could create an app for you called transformationrockstars.com. Check it out. I'm out there to help as many impact leaders as possible with getting their content out there and actually monetizing it and making some, pay your rent with it, making money whilst you sleep, making your money, make money and buy a house, or however you want to do it. The wealth game is fun. I always used to say it's not about how much money you make, it's how much fun you have making it. And the results of helping as many people as possible is just having a nice fat bank account. It's nice to make money whilst you sleep. I didn't know these were all options. So thank you. I love you, and I set you free. If you want to know more, Make sure you subscribe and click on the links below. And we'll see you on Monday for another lunchtime lecture at Mind Valley.